Alright, so the Greg's Reverse Fate is very popular in the meta right now, and a lot of you seem very vested in getting this weapon. Despite my reservations of this weapon, it has come to my attention that a lot of you want to basically build this weapon. So as a creator who wants to help as much as possible, I'm going to be giving you guys the tools that I've used to basically farm this weapon as quickly as possible. Let me show you how I farm the Greg's Reverse Fate. Let's dive right on into the video. Alright, now we're on the farming section of the video. Timestamps will be down below if you want to look for a very specific part, so go ahead and do that if that's what you're looking for. But if you know anything about me in my previous videos, you know I like to show proof that I can actually farm these items relatively quickly. So we're going to do that right now. So as you can see, I have a base Greg's Reverse Fate, obviously nothing too crazy. One kata, one energy activator, nothing too crazy here. And as you can see here, when we go to the vendor or the crafter, we have one that's ready in 13 minutes. And while I won't be finishing it tonight, you can see I have 3 parts of the blueprint, as well as 5 of these for the polymer section, and then 2 of the fiber blueprint parts. I will be targeting the nano tube next, but this is actually the hardest piece, and that's why it's a little bit of a pain. But as you guys can see, I actually am able to actually farm this relatively easy, and I just started farming this weapon like earlier today, so fairly easy. With that out of the way, let's talk about the first piece, which will be Greg's Reverse Fate Blueprint. As you can see, there is a lot of options for the Greg's Reverse Fate Blueprint, but there's one in particular that works for me specifically, and that is number 12. Now, the reason why I'm using number 12 is a combination of reasons. One, it is pretty much the easiest. This one right here, which is a 64, is a 10% drop chance with a bunch of stuff on it that's kind of mid, so it's not really worth it. This one has a very similar thing to it as well, but this one is actually not listed anymore, so we don't actually have the ability to get it. But 12 is really great because it's tied to Stunning Beauty, which is very common. She's super easy to kill. You can just fart on her and she'll die. And most importantly, a lot of you probably have been doing this mission a lot. Block Kuiper mining. This is one of the better missions in the game for XP, gold, and just gives a really solid mix. Obviously, gold is best in the Valby run and XP is best in like Bunny Cave. But if you're looking for something that's a little more interesting, this is going to be the best mission to do it. And if you're looking for the Kuiper blocking mine mission, you just come to the terminal here, and it'll be right here in the sterile lens. You go here, you queue up with some people, you'll mess around, and you have a chance to get, I believe, about 3 of these per reward. Well, actually, you can see it here. So you can get it here, you can get it here, and then you can get it here. So you can get it 3 times in this mission. This mission takes, I don't know, a full team, or just with one competent bunny, you can probably get this mission done in like, I don't know, 7-8 minutes or something like that. So very easy to get it. Next for Greg's, we have the nano tube, and honestly, this is by far the hardest piece for me personally. If I'm being honest though, it was actually fairly easy. I got counter lucky. And the one that I specifically targeted was 114. The reason for this is a combination of reasons. One, the Ultimate Vyesa Enhanced Cell is actually pretty nice, as you probably saw in the intro or me running around. I'm using Ultimate Vyesa, so this was very desirable. The Secret Garden, I recently did a video on this weapon, so having more of these are really nice. And then the Crystallization Catalyst, as well as the Greg's Reverse Fate, is actually pretty easy. On top of that, the Haven is actually a relatively fast mission. You can just run through it with a bunny like, I don't know, 6 minutes and get it done. So it's a very fast mission to do and fairly easy to complete. The hardest part of this for probably some players will be that you have to face off against Frostwalker. At this point, I feel like Frostwalker is not that hard to deal with, especially with Lepic's burst build. And I know some people are going to say, well, these other ones are easier. The problem with this one is Heart of the Fortress is a very long mission. This one's like a 12-minute mission or something, even on normal, and it takes forever to get it done. And this one, in Neutralized Void Experiment, is also a very long mission. As you can see here, this one, and it took way too long to have a very low chance of getting it. So this one is by far the hardest one. I didn't try this one because, once again, this outpost has a 20% drop chance, and I have very bad luck with these outposts. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I did want to make sure you guys know why I'm choosing to fight Frostwalker, because these other ones are just kind of annoying. Alright, next on to the Synthetic Fiber Blueprint. And the best one to do for this one is number 72. And this is a great one because it has Ultimate Clay pieces, which is very desirable. Crystallization catalyst is really nice, and all you need to do is go to the Law Supply Depot Vulgus Outpost Station. As you can see here, is number 72. It's a fairly common one, and then you come to this one and you just go knock it out. And as you can see here, I got a lot of polymer, a lot of organic. The polymer is fairly easy to farm. Organic's fairly easy to farm. You can farm it here, I believe, with a Lepic or Blair, whatever. So you can just actually farm it all in one area and get this one done. So that's where I would do this one. These other ones I'm not a fan of. These two require you to do some fairly long missions. I believe this one's the Minister's Lab. Yeah, this one's fairly long, and this one is not available anymore. So I don't really do any of these other ones, but I would highly recommend just doing 72. It's much easier, and then you can just kind of chill. Finally, for another fairly easy piece, we have the Polymer, whatever it's called. And for this one, we're farming 105. And the reason why we're doing 105 is because it's tied to Mystery End, which isn't the longest mission in the game. We also have access to energy activators, which is going to be crazy good. And then ultimate Lepic stabilizers, again, something very desirable that you could trade in the future whenever trade comes in. So this is a great one in my opinion. The reason why I don't like using these, or this one for example, is the Asylum, and this one's a fairly long mission just to get one. And then this one is also another one of those cases of it being a fairly low roll, also tied to a outpost that has a 20% drop rate, which again, this feels very abysmal, and the outposts seem very unreliable to me, so I don't really like doing those 20% like outposts. And then the Link Colossus is going to be Obstructor, which he's fairly easy to beat. So in my opinion, going 105 is going to be the best overall for your account. And there you have it, guys. That is my guide on how to farm the Greg's Reverse Fate and what I specifically did. Once again, I tried to farm with the intention of giving myself the best resources to progress my account, as well as make it a little bit convenient. If you follow this guide, you probably will have Greg's done probably within the first day or two, and you do need a lot of copies to make Greg's work. So, you know, very important to get them all. If this video did help you guys out, consider leaving me a like as well as subscribing for more of the First Descendant content. And I'll see you guys in the next video very soon.